Hello, everyone. You are listening to another episode of Hashtag 135. I'm your host, Alexis Appleby, and with me today, I have my two co-hosts, Mr. Bland, principal of Jordan Elementary School, and Mr. Clark, superintendent of our district. And how are we doing today, guys?
Just great.
Great. Peachy?
2 days until Thanksgiving break. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, I guess,
no, it's
because
okay.
we're
It's
pre-recording, but
it's okay. This episode
in
might be...
in the real world, I am jumping
Later.
for joy that we only have 2 days until Thanksgiving break. So.
I think everybody in this room is excited about Thanksgiving break. I mean, you might be working, and I'm pointing at Mr. Clark.
What do I got to do?
Right? You with your...
I have to work on Thanksgiving?
Not on Black Friday. You're on your break.
Oh, I'm not working Black Friday.
You're
No
supporting
way.
your wife.
I am
Oh,
not,
his wife has a shop. That's right.
that's on her.
That's on her. But you're supporting her on Black Friday.
From afar.
I've been supporting her for 25 years.
That was a shout out of how wonderful those 25 years are.
That is.
Congratulations.
And speaking of everyone in the room being excited about our Thanksgiving break, today we have Mrs. Becker, who has worn several hats in our district, but she is currently our assistant superintendent and the curriculum coordinator. How are you doing today?
Welcome.
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well. Well, I'm answering for these guys, but they're doing well because
I'm actually doing
break.
sign language, but no one can.
I was pointing earlier, so.
I don't understand that sign.
Oh.
Like I said, Mrs. Becker has worn many hats in the district. You want to give us a rundown of what you've done in the district?
Sure. So for 10 years, I was an 8th grade language arts teacher. And then for a year, I was an assistant principal at the junior high, followed by 3 years as principal at the junior high. And then I have been in this job this is now the 3rd year.
Wow. And what's next?
Custodian.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Cook.
I almost got to be a cook today, but then somebody else swooped in at the last minute and took it over. So
she
they didn't want me.
Shucks.
Oh,
Bus driver.
No,
Right? Yeah.
no.
I mean,
I think there's a height requirement.
I think maybe
You may have to have a booster seat to do
some
that,
wooden
Mrs.
blocks,
Becker.
wooden blocks to go under my feet.
can't you have the pedals move forward? Don't they do that? No.
I don't
think
know.
it's the
I'm
length of the
willing
legs.
to do a
You've
lot
been
of
watching
things,
too
but-
many videos.
And they do that in cars.
They do?
Yeah, some cars you can have the pedals move forward. Did your car do that? You have an SUV, don't you?
No, I just have a little car like
Okay,
yours.
never mind. I thought you had
Yeah.
an SUV too.
No, of all the things that I would be asked to do, driving a bus would not be one of them.
That's me either. I wouldn't want
Choir director.
There you go.
That would even be better than bus driver. I have matching dents on both sides of my garage at home from my driving skills, so you guys don't want me driving a bus.
But there's someone worse at driving than I am.
You know, Mrs. Becker was actually the first person I met in the district before I met everybody, before Mr. Clark. I was in the parking lot, and she could probably see the look on my face of what.
Where am I?
Was that like your first day?
Yeah, that was my first day when I came in, and you could tell she goes, "You must be Alexis." So she let me in. She was on her way out the door, but she stopped to let me in.
And I was trying to convince her I wasn't a crazy lady stalking her in the parking lot.
But we made eye contact, and I knew whoever saw me would think, "Oh, that must be the new girl." And then before I met you, Mr. Clark spoke very highly of you. He talked about when the need for an assistant superintendent had come up, and he spoke very kindly of you before I got to meet you. So my expectations were,
don't.
what, make her head bigger?
Well, I don't know
What do you
about
mean
that.
bigger?
Actually, make your head bigger.
No.
No.
Let's not do that, please.
So, Mrs. Becker, you have been in the district how long now?
I think 17 years.
17 years.
It's a long time. And before you came here, you had jobs in other districts as well.
I did. I have worked in Springfield. That's where I started my teaching career. And then I subbed for about 2 months and then said, absolutely not. And then I worked in Nokomis, Illinois, which was about an hour drive each way. I was a Title I teacher there for about 3.5 years.
I think the most interesting fact that I know about her is her student teaching experience.
Please
And
tell.
what grade level?
So
Please tell me it wasn't kindergarten.
It was kindergarten.
Oh my gosh.
So-
It was so hard to believe.
I know. When I graduated and started looking for a job, I thought that that's what I wanted was little kids. That's what I had student taught in and done all of my other experience in. And my first job, the school had several openings, and so they just did interviews, but they didn't tell you what grade it was for. And so I interviewed and, told them that I preferred the lower grades, and they called and offered me a job in 4th grade. And so, of course, I took it because that was back at a time when it was hard to find teaching jobs. And I, of course, accepted, but then I hung up the phone and cried because I didn't know what I was supposed to do with those big kids.
Right.
And so at the end of that year, I asked the principal if I could move down to lower grades because we had some openings. And she said, well, we really would like you to loop with your kids and go to 5th grade. And so, again, what was I going to say? And so I moved to 5th grade and never really considered going back lower. When I came to this district, I did take the job. I thought I was teaching 7th grade when I took the job, and I got here and they said, oh, no, it's 8th grade. So, again, I'm going to take whatever job you've given me. And I had the expectation that maybe I would ask to move down. But once I started in 8th grade, I decided that was probably the right place for me. And now that I get to go visit all of the buildings in this job, I am convinced that I was in the right place. I like those little kids, but I don't know how those teachers do it all day.
Saying your name repetitively. It's funny to hear the different perspectives of teachers who love the little ones and then the ones that I'm okay with the ones that can go potty by themselves.
Exactly.
And, maybe call me mom, but not as often as the little ones do. And you're a mom, too. I love hearing all your interesting stories about the twins. I'm fascinated with twins. I just think they're so cute.
That's because you don't have them. They're cute, and I love them and wouldn't trade them. I have a son who's 20, and then I have twin daughters who are 9. And then I also have a 4-legged baby.
Yeah, we can't forget that.
What's his name?
His name is Olaf. He's my little bulldog.
He is so cute. And Mr. Clark's going to let him one day come to the office and visit, right?
I mean, I think
About
I
two
could
and
get
a half years.
I think I could get a petition going.
I think a majority of the office wants Olaf in this building. He's so cute.
I think that would be a great idea.
In 2.5 years.
He's sticking to his guns.
He
on
is.
that. Well, that's admirable, I guess. Maybe we can have a cat day.
I don't know that might be worse.
Mr. Bland's a cat.
I have a cat.
And you groaned about cat day.
A cat named Jordan.
And
We've
Ella.
already talked about that.
Yeah.
Ella died.
I know Ella died, but will you name another one? Will you get another one?
There's not going to be another one.
There's-
When this one's gone, that's it. No more pets.
So is Ella short for elementary?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just got that. Jordan and then the Ella. But
Well, I thought maybe it was one of your past
Elementary.
girlfriends.
no,
That will be an episode.
that would be maybe several episodes.
Anyway, back
Anyway,
to Mrs.
Yeah.
so
Becker.
Mrs. Becker, like, what are some of the things that you do in our district? So,
Everything.
well, she does
Right.
everything, but just tell everybody what are some of the things that you.
So some of
Are involved in.
my primary responsibilities are working on grants, and then taking care of the reports and all of those things that go along with that. And then we have been working the last several years on school improvement, and so I've worked with the teachers and the principals on that initiative. And then we also have 2 instructional coaches in the district, and I work pretty heavily with them as well.
She's been very helpful to all of us.
Especially
And all
those-
these
You have to
schools.
say that because I'm sitting here.
No.
No.
It's just nice to have somebody to go to when you need help.
Yeah, even you and myself
Mm-hmm.
asking you about random questions that come.
And not only is she helpful with curriculum and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but then tech. She's
Yes.
she's kind of a Google whiz.
Well, and I will say too, besides all the other wonderful things, when we had COVID, I don't know what we would have done if we hadn't had her help through that process.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, and since then, it's just, I mean, that's why she's in the position she's in, because of all of the knowledge that she has and how she helps all of us. So,
Helps all the old people.
You guys don't know I make the answers up most of the time.
it doesn't matter because then we can just say, well, Mrs. Becker said.
Sometimes I'm
your
sitting
name
there when
on
I
it.
call her and ask her a question, and I know she's like searching for it and looking it up or whatever, or troubleshooting or whatever. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
let me give you an example
really
of a question that you might call and ask.
oh, let's not.
Let's call
Because-
Mr. Clark while he's doing the tax levy and ask, hey, do you know who our fire chief is?
Well, I have no, I thought I knew who it was, but no, isn't I was working on our school emergency crisis plan, and I wanted to make sure I had all of the
Correct
information. I was not sure about the police chief because we have a new one, but I did contact our SRO who gave me that information. So now my school or my crisis plan is up to date, and I hope I never have to use it, but
Yeah, that's a good thing.
so sorry I interrupted you while you were working on the tax levy.
I will accept
My
that
goodness.
apology.
This was a public apology.
I could have sent like my question via pigeon, but
We don't like birds at this office.
We do
nor
not.
do you like cats or dogs, do you?
Has there been a bird in this office?
Not.
Would you
I've been
explain why we don't like birds?
Yes, please.
I just don't like birds in general. I think when I was a kid, one time we were at South Padre Island, and my brother was trying to feed them bread or whatever, and one swooped down and bit the end of his finger or nipped the end of his finger. So it was a kind of a secondhand trauma, I guess. And when I lived in Springfield, we had the apartment that I lived in had a row of trees behind it with those hedge apples, and the trees would be full of blackbirds, and you could go out there and it was just full. You could just hear them, and they're just messy and gross.
Kind of like
So,
this office right now at night.
Yes.
When you leave here.
Yes.
Isn't
So
there a
rooster
horror
down
film like about birds,
There
like
is.
Attack of the Birds or something? Is
It's
that
called
Attack of the Birds.
The Birds.
The
Birds.
Is it the birds? Is it just like
It is called The Bird.
Is it? Oh, I've never seen it.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
I thought that's what it
Yep.
was. So kind of that whole thing.
yeah, I just don't like them. I don't know that we've ever had one here since I've worked here. We did have one in the junior high during COVID. And it was in the
that's
middle of
right.
summer, and it flew into the cafeteria. And I believe that I went in my office and waited until Mr. Clark got there, and then he helped.
Get the bird.
Just-
That's kind of
dispose
a
of it. I don't
regular
know what
occurrence
happened.
that, Jordan, we have
Bats.
birds and bats
Bats.
regularly. Like we will walk in and there will be bats hanging from the ceiling.
No.
Oh, we live. I
Is
do live there.
a cold-blooded, sucking individual, Mr. Bland is. So that's one of the bats.
Gee,
that part of
thanks.
his-
No, he's not. He's a cat.
He's a cat.
I'm a cat. Oh. Anyway, back to Mrs. Becker.
Back to Mrs. Becker.
She has. I don't know how she finds these
Oh,
contacts,
no. Put that down.
but you can attest to the things she brings up here to eat.
You mean Mrs. Becker?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Just today we have a pumpkin pie cookie cake. It's actually it looks like a pumpkin pie, but it's cookies, and it's really cute. Whoever made it, it is
I wish
so
I could take.
adorable.
I wish
I
I
was
could
gonna
take
say,
some
did you
credit.
make that?
No, I did not. It came from. I'll just give it a little shout out. It came from Covered in Chocolate in Breeze.
Yeah. And then you've brought plenty of cookies. I think maybe have you brought donuts too?
She
Probably.
may have a sweet tooth.
Just a
I
little
think
bit.
I think you do.
Just a
And
tad. You notice I never bring vegetable trays or anything like that.
It's always very nice desserts, and it's at the right time because sometimes during the day it can be a little stressful, and everybody might like a little bit of chocolate or something.
So that's
sweet.
why I kind of brought it up
Mm-hmm.
because she kind of has this persona that she's kind of tough because I'm scared of her. I'm intimidated by her,
As you should be.
but she has a really soft heart and
Yes.
sees things that others don't and does things behind the scenes that others people don't see. So that's another high quality that she has.
I'm starting to see that too. There's a rule: no hugs.
Correct.
But since I've been here now, I think there's been 3 on record.
Yeah, but that was all in 1 week, so that
It
was
was-
that was just an unusual
3 hugs?
circumstance. Yes,
3
in
hugs.
1 week.
Really?
What, do you want one too? No, you're
I'm not
a
much of a hugger either.
I am, so I have to watch it. I try to read the signs, and then sometimes I don't, and I just still go in for a hug. Especially if I'm a little emotional, then it just kind of, sorry.
Imagine
And
that.
none of you
You
guys
being
are huggers.
emotional.
Right. And none of you guys are huggers in here. You're not, and you're not, and you're not. Good to know.
You and Mrs. Stedlin can just hug it out.
Hug it out.
I gave Rita a hug today too.
Invite Kathy Donnelly over. She's a hugger.
That was one of my 3 hugs.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago.
That's right. Oh, well, Mrs. Becker, thank you for joining us on the show. I know I'd been asking you for a while, so I'm glad you're finally on it. That way people can see another side of you. And we want to thank all of our listeners that have joined us today. And I guess we'll see you next time on hashtag
Don't forget to hit the.
Oops.
I liked that better than the other music.
I wonder why
go out
she's
on
playing that.
What were you going to say, though, before we...
Don't forget to hit the like and the follow and all that.
Yes,
stuff.
subscribe. We actually have more subscribers. We're at 28, I think. So we're
Hey,
split-
if we
and
can
then-
get to 30, Mr. Bland will.
Sing a song.
Yes, a Christmas.
You want something...
A Christmas song?
More than that.
Will you do a Christmas song?
Sure.
Okay. You
There
guys
you
heard
go.
it. You
Get
heard
to
it.
30.
Play that music now.
All right.
Play us out.
Bye, everybody.